Now let's get a closer look at the guitar pedals that I like to use. For this part of the video, I am going to use the Squier Starcaster guitar for these tones, and if I switch guitars, I'll let you know beforehand. Here's the tuner pedal that I like to use right here. It is made by Korg, and it is called a Pitch Black. And I've had this on my well, not really my board, if you will, but my pedal board for quite a few years here now. And I really like this tuner. It doesn't do much, but what it does do, it does really well. And so it's all metal. It's really tough. It's true bypass. So whenever it's turned off or whenever I have it plugged in, like, it doesn't interfere with my tone at all whatsoever. It's totally transparent. And it doesn't take much power to run it, and it has a power output that I can run to my other pedals if I want, and it's chromatic, so it tunes to all different notes, and it's really simple how it works. You just you hit the button right here, and then you just play the notes you want to tune, and it tells you whether it's too sharp or flat, and then it mutes the signal whenever you hit the button so that your sound doesn't come out of the amplifier. Cool, eh? Yeah, so that's the tuner pedal I like to use. I like to use a chorus pedal on my board every once in a while, just to sort of give me a little bit of syrupy, liquidy, watery sort of tones, and so I can get some sort of Andy Summer Police sort of sounds, that sort of stuff. And this is the one that I like to use to do it. Not for any reason in particular other than this is just the chorus pedal that I happened to buy for 20 bucks, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that. And yeah, it's just sort of a pedal I just sort of stumbled into. And it's kind of cool. It's like one of those old, like, Japanese sort of chorus pedals as well too. And to be honest, I can't really hear the difference myself between like a Japanese one and like one of the modern ones. Yeah, sure, maybe it sounds a little different, but I can't really say that it sounds any better or worse, you know. I know this one's really old and it still works really good, and I really like that. And I do believe that there is something cool about like the whole made in Japan lore and all that sort of stuff, though. I think that is kind of neat, you know. Yeah, so this is a really cool pedal that I got like sort of 10 years ago. I can't even remember where I got it from. And yeah, it's like it sounds really nice. It's got a really nice sort of watery sort of sounding chorus. And you know, you can like change the rate really nice and slow, speed it up, and you can really sort of make it sort of crazy and wacky here. Change the sort of the shape of it here. And something I really like about this pedal is even in like its extreme settings, it's never really sort of too much, you know. I really like that. You know, I tend to use it more like a little bit pulled back, sort of more like that sort of a thing. Like, here it is with it off. Yeah, so it's got that sort of a sound to it, and I really like it. It just sort of is a nice thing to add in there for a little bit of thickening, especially for clean tones. I don't really use it for overdrive or dirty sounds very often, but I will typically pull it out for verses, any sort of chimey stuff I might want to put over the top of a chorus or underneath everything else. Sometimes I might use it with a light little bit of overdrive. And sometimes I will use it with leads as well too. And when I use it with a lead, then I often will use it with quite a lot of gain on it. And then that gives me sort of like that sort of really mournful 80s sort of sounding power metal lead sort of sound, which is really, really nice. That gives that sort of more David Gilmour sort of sound sometimes as well too with leads. So really, really cool. Yeah, here's the overdrive pedal that I like to use. This is a Fulltone OCD, and one of the things I really like about this pedal, first and foremost, is the build quality. It just feels awesome. It's really, really well made. Although, unfortunately, it's really peculiarly made. I'm not a big fan of where they put the power jack. It's like probably in the most annoying, dumbest spot they could have put it on the pedal. Like, why would you put it there? Put it at the top where like every other pedal has the power jack. But other than that, you know, it's a really, really great pedal, and I love, I actually, you know what, love is not the right word. Actually, I really detest the switch on it, though. I hate those loud switches. Why can't all switches be like this really nice fat rapid switch over here? Or even better yet, like this really nice switch over here on the tuner, you know? But anyways, I hate those big clunky switches like that. But whatever. The pedal sounds so good. I'm able to look past the annoying switch and the annoying power jack on it because it just sounds super good. Like, especially when you dial back the drive and the volume just a little bit like that, like it really cleans things up, and it's so nice and sort of transparent sounding. Oh wow, it's just so like nice and rich and full and snappy. It still sounds like an overdrive pedal. Like, I always prefer this natural sound of an amplifier over the overdrive from a pedal. But sometimes, you know, you just want like that sound from a pedal, and this is the one that I feel gives me like the all-around sort of nice overdrivey, works great with tube amps, even with solid state amps. Just a really nice sounding overdrive pedal that's built really, really well. And you know, it can get like pretty dirty if you crank it all the way up here. You know, like, versus like. So it's got a really nice range of drive, and the tone control is really effective on it. And it's even got this cool little switch here, and that affects the filtering on it. So you get like a low pass filter or a high pass filter. So a low pass filter means that it's going to pass, like it's going to shave off some sort of high frequencies. You get a bit of a warmer sound. And then a high pass filter does the opposite. It shaves off a few of the low frequencies, so you get like a bit of a crisper sound. I find this amp has a fairly bright sound to it, so I usually use it on the low pass setting. But yeah, get the effect of sort of like more tone or more sound if you put it on the high pass setting. But that's not really what I'm looking for from this pedal. I want it to stay sort of transparent. I use it for sometimes if I just want like that sort of classic-y, rocky sort of electric guitar sound. Or it works great with like that for that Green Day sound whenever they like on like the Nimrod album, that sort of thing. And it works great for taking an already overdriven amp or signal and pushing it over the top. That's really what I like to use it for the most. Like whenever the amp is already super distorted, like this one I need just a little more, you know, especially for leads. Yeah, that totally takes us into that super fun territory of like just pushing things over the top. And yeah, that is just really, really, really satisfying to use the pedal like that. Anyhow, yeah, that's the overdrive pedal that I have on my board. This is a really fun pedal right here. This is what it's all about here, folks. The fat rat right here. Okay, let's just, you know, it's better to show than tell. So let's just dig right into it here. Other than my little flub in there, not too bad. But yeah, this is the classic super fuzz sound, and I really, really like that rat sound. It's like super bright, super gainy, super crunchy, turbo-y, and just awesome. And this is the one that's got a couple of extra bells and whistles built into it. It's got this switch so you can use like the stock modern sort of rat sound, or you can do like the old school MOSFET sound, which is a little bit warmer, and I really like that. And you can also switch between, I don't know what this does, maybe like the different types of distortion, more like a fatter sound and more like the old school stockier, punkier sort of sounding rat distortion. And I really like it on the fatter sort of a setting. And I just crank the distortion all the way up, and I turn the filter all the way off, and I turn the volume all the way up. And what really sounds great whenever it's set up like this is when the amp is already overdriven. And not with a pedal, but when the amp is already overdriven, like in a medium overdrive setting, this is great. But, you know, when it's not overdriven, which the amp isn't really overdriven much, then I usually turn the tone down, or volume down like that. And then sometimes I might not even use the distortion up quite as high as that. But let's just check that out. Yeah, pretty cool tone, but that's the natural sound of the amp. Now let's hear what it sounds like when I drive the amp a little bit more. There we go. Check these chords out. Now some neck pickup. Satisfying to play with layers and layers of distortion, especially like different types of distortion that are layered on top of each other in just the right sort of gain structuring. Oh, so good. Anyways, yeah, that is my favorite way to use this pedal, is when the amp is sort of overdriven. And right now the amp, like I'm on the clean channel, and the gain is up all the way on the clean channel, and the master's up at 5. And just the master on the amp is, I don't know, like at 2 or something like that. Anyways. That's what the amp sounds like. It's like a chainsaw, sort of a ripping sound. I love that. Oh boy, this next one's a doozy. This is the Boss DD200 delay, and I have this wired up through the effects loop on my amplifier right now, and the effects loop is set to like 50% right now. Okay, yeah, I use this for delay, and I also use it as a looper as well too. And I love delay, and I use it a lot for everything, all the time. And I really want to have a really expansive delay pedal. And I also want to have like a sort of a very traditional delay pedal as well too. I want it to do all the crazy fancy delay cool stuff, you know, but I don't want it to be like too sort of different and wacky and modern and stuff like that. Although I really, really do respect and love those wacky modern delay pedals, you know. This is totally my jam though, as I like it sort of straight up and traditional sort of thing, you know. And but I gotta admit, I really do like those wacky, crazy features, you know. So, but this is sort of, I guess, like my sort of comfort zone here. Anyways, you know, and then that is what it is. But anyways, I love this pedal. It sounds a great, oh gosh, it just sounds amazing. It's such a great sounding delay pedal. Although there are some features that I'm not a big fan of with it, and I'm just gonna get those out of the way right now. First things first is I hate this time knob here. This is almost enough to make me sell the pedal. Oh, it's like, who wants to adjust it by like that this way? What the pedal should work like is, you see, when you push the button in, it jumps by 10. That should be the regular way it works. And then whenever you push it in, it should give you the fine control. It would be much more convenient like that, because I find I'm more often wanting to make big adjustments than small ones on this pedal. So I wish that it worked the other way, or that I could change it. And I checked out the settings, and I'm pretty sure you can't change that. But yeah, I sure wish that something like that you could change on this pedal, because things like that I feel are big barriers to using really great products. Now, I'm able to look past that, but there was a time where I wasn't able to look past that. And that was like a big thing I had to get over to buy this pedal, is because that's really an annoying thing that they engineered into this pedal that you cannot change. That really bugs me, you know. If somebody knows how to change that, then please let me know in the comments. I sure would love to know how to change that. Anyways, or boss, please do a firmware update on that or something. Anyways, yeah, that and the MIDI on this pedal is just 1/8" jacks, and yeah, it's great that it has MIDI. I will admit that, and that is awesome for the price point that you can get MIDI on this pedal. That is fantastic. But I will admit that, yeah, it would be nice to have full-size MIDI jacks rather than those little mini jacks, because you're just going to have to use them anyways with adapters, you know. But I appreciate that the smaller 1/8" jacks keep the form factor of this pedal nice and small. So, you know, I get it. You know, I understand why they did it like that, and I respect that as well too. But I will say that it is a little annoying. But, you know, it's not so much for me to not be able to get past it. It's just a minor annoyance. And that's all I want to say about that. Because everything else on the pedal is incredible, and I love it. I love how everything works on this pedal, and it sounds incredible. It sounds so good. It is awesome. So anyways, let's stop talking and let's start playing here. So here's just like a pretty standard sort of sounding, actually let's just go to like a super standard sounding delay. Okay, so let's just go to 400 milliseconds. We'll go crank that up there. Now the effects level's up all the way because this is through the effects loop on my amplifier. Okay, but it's sort of like set to like 50% right now. We're not going to adjust the tone or anything on this. We're just going to set everything pretty standard, no modulation, and this is just the standard digital delay sound right here. Whoops. help if I turn the guitar on. One, two, three, four. Maybe I'll turn down the effects mix a little bit here. So now we're probably at like, I don't know, 20% or something. Wow, yeah, super nice sounding. Now, check out when we add some modulation into this. Let's just add that much. I don't know. Let's add more. There we go. Check that out. Sounds so nice and cascadey. Oh, it's so good. And then check this out. This is cool. You get this tap division button here, and then you can get like all your different sort of divisions of times. And I really like the way that this is set up. So let's put it on dotted eighth notes, okay? And we'll just tap this in here without bumping the tripod, hopefully. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That riff didn't sound very good. Let's try a different riff, okay? About this is when you are in the one of the other things I really like about this pedal is when you're in the manual mode right here, by just changing the memory settings here, is that puts the pedal in sort of like a what you see is what you get mode. So like just wherever the knobs are set, that's what you hear. And I like it that you can change the sound of the delay without changing all these other settings on it. So it's not like changing a preset. You're just changing the sound of the delay, and it keeps all your other settings the same. And I love that. It's really cool for experimenting with different tones. So say like I was just using a standard digital delay sound there. I could just switch and make that an analog sounding delay sound instead. And now I have like an analog delay with all the same time and it just changes the sound of the delay. I get those warm analog delays.
Really cool, and it's got like all these other crazy sort of sounds. Like check out this Terra Echo one, it's just nuts. I like to use this one a lot whenever I'm setting up stereo amps. Like I've got two different guitar amplifiers here, and sometimes I'll wire them up in stereo, and wow, this Terra Echo is just nuts because it like sort of washes between the two amplifiers when you set it up like that. So cool. It's probably a bit more than I want to get into in this video, but I'll have to do that sometime because it's so awesome sounding. Yeah, and it's got all these other, like I really like this pattern setting right here. This is cool. And you can change the type of pattern with the parameter setting right here, so it plays like a different sort of pattern of delays. Okay, so let's just put this back onto our regular eighth notes here. Okay, and now let's turn down the modulation, okay? 2, 3, 4. Let's go back to that very first setting, and let's just, I want you to hear what this sounds like. It's pretty cool. Now I've turned the effects mix up to 50%, so you can hear the delays quite a bit more now, okay? So let's hope that this sort of works. Pattern sound is really cool for like ambient sort of sounding tones, that sort of stuff. And anyways, there's all kinds of other crazy stuff in here, reverse and, you know, ducking delays and all kinds of fun stuff to play with. And the looper is really fancy and fun to play with as well too. And you can use the delay and the looper at the same time. And stereo in, stereo output. It's really tough. It's built well. You know, it's just, yeah, this is a really great delay pedal. And yeah, this is the one that I use to get all the delay sounds that I use in my tone. Well, that wraps up today's video where we covered the guitar rig that I use in the Mears Lab home studio. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. And if you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the Mears Lab channel for more as well, too. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.